So you're wondering how to make an amazing self-tape that's gonna stand out. I gotta say, self-taping is difficult because you're no longer just relying on your acting, but you're having to basically operate as if you're a full studio. It's very technical. The first thing I wanna mention is framing and lighting. Framing is kind of nice because you actually have control of what the camera sees. If it's a comedy, you might wanna push the camera back, get more of your body to show your funny movements. And if it's more of a drama or a feature film, you might wanna bring it in really close, especially if you're whispering, to also add dramatic effect. Now, lighting can be a bit challenging because a lot of us don't have lights. You might only have those bulbs around your house that are super yellow. Try your best not to use those, they're not so flattering. The ideal setup is 3 lights. That is a lot of lights, so I'll tell you how to not use 3 lights, but if you want to go pro and you want to buy some stuff, this is how you would set it up. 1 light behind you to get a nice backlit glow, and you don't have to do a super crazy LED light, probably just white for self-tapes. And then you want to have a light here and a light here, both at the 45-degree angles. What I mean by that is, if you put your hand out straight towards the camera and you put your hand out to the side here and you go in the middle, that's your 45-degree angle. So you want to be lit from 2 ends, one being a little bit brighter than the other. I only have 2 lights, so how am I operating this with 2 lights instead of 3? Well, as you can see, I have the backlight behind me, which is super fun and intense, and I have a light right here, which means this end is actually being lit by a window. Natural lighting at its best, and it's free. If you don't want to use any lights whatsoever, you can use window light. It's just limiting because then you have to shoot during daylight hours and you always have to be facing a window. The next thing is audio, which is quite annoying to think about because again, it's just a technicality that we wouldn't be worrying about if we went in the room. The number 1 rule with your audio is that you don't want to hear the background reader more than you. So if you're shooting on your iPhone or something, just take note how close you are to your phone and how close they are, and maybe make them back up a little bit more. Even if it feels awkward acting far apart, it's gonna sound so much better. You're also gonna have to keep in mind what noises are around you. Is there an alarm going off? Is there a baby crying? All of these things are super distracting. You want to have as much quiet as possible. My next tip is to prep your audition material the same way you would as if you're going in the room. It's so easy for us not to leave our house and just kind of get lazy with it and say, I'll figure it out when I'm taping, and tape it 100 times. But the process is actually taking you way longer, and you might get so lazy with it when you finally get an in-person audition, you're freaking out and actually don't know how to prepare. So give yourself a take limit. Say, I'm gonna do no more than 4 takes. And each take, try to give yourself a different note. You might be surprised as to what you like. And my very last tip for you is, while we're being all technical with this stuff, keep being technical when you're working with the footage on your computer. Really read the instructions when you're looking at the email, label it correctly, edit it correctly. I know it feels like we have all these hoops to jump through, but unfortunately this ever-evolving business is changing and we have to adapt to those times. I hope you learned a thing or two. Please go ahead, like and comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already.